Hey, what up, y'all? Sir Cash here, back with another review. Today, this mug is nice. This is a 2020 Lexus ES 350. It's going to share the same motor as most of the V6s in Lexus lineup. It's the 3.5 V6 with 303 horsepower, matted to front wheel drive. You're going to get 18s for the wheels. All your tires are going to be basically a squared setup, which means all the tires are the same. You're sitting on about 235, what did I say? Yeah, 235, 45, 18s. And this is actually going to be the premium package, and I'll get into that a little bit later. But yeah, these wheels are actually pretty nice. You're not getting, pistons. You're getting just regular calipers up front. One thing I always like, Lexus always adds a nice key lock to it. This paint, I don't necessarily know the paint code for it. Is that a little dirt? All right, I don't necessarily know the paint code to this one. It has kind of it's weird. It's gray, but then it has almost like a green look to it. I don't know if my camera can really pick it up, but it's a beautiful car. This car only has like 5,000 miles from it, or 5,000 miles on it. Always with any Lexus car, either you're gonna like or not like the front. I actually reviewed another ES over there a long time ago, so it's weird to be in another ES, but I'm gonna tell you this just off the bat, this car is hella nice. I'm a big Lexus fanboy, not even gonna front. I like this car a lot. The front look, either you're gonna like it or not. If you don't like this one, maybe the F Sport might be more of your model. It does have a pretty rod, standard rod clearance, so it sits up pretty high. If you're ever gonna clean this car, like I just did, getting in between here, kind of a pain. But besides from that, it's got the normal Toyota Lexus safety issues. Stuff. You got your front sensors, you got your cruise control, your lane departure, all the normal Lexus things or Toyota things that they've been pushing out for a while. So I'm not really going to jump into that. I'm just going to talk about it from a personal experience of me driving and buzzing this car around. Gas mileage, I believe it's about 22, 23 city and up to 31, 32 highway. So that's really good for this V6. Ironically, this one can take regular unleaded gas, unlike some of the other Lexus 3.5 V6 that take premium. And this one doesn't click out. Let's see. In my GS, I just pushed a button. This one is back to normal. So yeah, this is just regular gas. It doesn't have to take premium, which is interesting. How they tune their V6s to either take premium or regular unleaded. I like this car a lot. It doesn't have a rear wing on it, but for me, this car is just amazing. It's a great car to look at, and it is really long. If you've been following the Lexus brand for a very long time, you would just notice these cars have gotten massive. This is their mid-sized car. You would start out either in an IS and then move up to the ES, GS, LS. So this is their mid-sized tier, and that's pretty much on the outside. No issues with it whatsoever. All right, let's actually hop into this car so I can talk about it. On the outside of the door, you actually have this nice black and gray trim that follows all the way through the car. It's actually really, really, really nice. All right, back to it. This has an 8-speaker sound system, and it sounds really good. The front ones are in the doors. The rear ones are in the doors as well. And then you have a subwoofer. It has plenty of thump in it. This rear seat does not fold down, but I believe it's like other Lexus brands where you get in through the cub hole right there. So basically the ski rack hole. Rear seat is actually really nice for me to sit in it. Plenty of headroom. That's my normal driving position, so that's how much foot room I have, and it feels good in here. Rear seat, you got your cigarette lighter, and then of course you got an area where you can charge your phone and hook up a USB. Those are actually almost mandatory these days because everybody is looking for some type of juice. So I like the fact that it has it in there. Lexus has been doing this for a while. Actually, a lot of manufacturers have putting rear ear in there. So if you're riding in the back seat, this is the view that you have. You have plenty of head space. I do like that center light because some cars have the lights on each side. So let's hop up front. All right, so with the premium package, you're going to get the memory seats, which is a good option just in case you ever have multiple people driving your vehicles. From the driver's position, this cluster is pretty amazing. It looks really, really good. Like I said, you have your lane, your steering, alert, sensitivity, gas gauge. When you go into eco mode, your knobs are up here. So there's your sport, normal, and eco. And then over here, that's for your traction control. That's kind of a negative, in my opinion. I am not a big fan of these, I would say, these weird, funky looking ears. Not a big fan of that. I wish they were more just towards the side. But besides from that, if my camera can pick it up, it has the trim on the inside too of the cluster. I don't know if that lights up at night. I'm not gonna have it at night, so it may light up at night. So eco mode turns blue, and you get a notification over there in your eco. And then your sport mode, it's gonna turn red with a different cluster. So that's normal, or that's eco, normal, sport. And best thing about this car so far, by driving it, no road noises, no fake engine noises. That's what I want to say. No fake engine noises with this car. It sounds good. That's all motor. Man, I couldn't believe the fake engine noises that I heard before. Was not a fan of it. Obviously, rear window, you get your garage controls. This is what I wanted to talk about, this big boy right here. So this looks like another standard 12-inch screen. And of course, this one has Android Auto, so you can hook up your phone. And that's been kind of a thing that Lexus was really kind of slow on adapting, was the Android Auto. You still have your old school clock, which I always think will be a perfect touch, even in a, let's just say, 2040. An analog clock should always be a nice touch to a brand. So you got your big 12-inch screen, you got your maps, and controlling the screen, it's not touchscreen whatsoever, which kind of sucks because this is trash. I am not a big fan of this. I've complained about this in multiple vehicles. I wish Lexus would just necessarily get rid of it because it kind of has like a vibration feel to it when you're messing with it. So your hand works like a mouse, but the physical one that I have in my GS is a lot better than doing this. Because if you're not that well coordinated while you're trying to drive and do this, it's really annoying not to actually have a physical control. I do like that there is actually knobs instead of having to go through this to turn on your AC. So physical knobs are always great. This one has heated and cooled seats, heated steering wheel. There's more USB outlets up there. And this is a pretty cool area to place your phone. That's where I had my phone. Like the fact that it has physical buttons, and of course you can hook up your Bluetooth. And that's pretty much what everybody uses is Bluetooth these days. And it's good to see Lexus has still stuck with the old CD player. So that's pretty dope. And like I said, this one has heated and cooled seats on both sides, which is actually pretty cool. So like I said, not a fan of that. That's the only thing I will knock the interior on. It's just the infotainment center. It's not all that. The sound system sounds really good in here. It sounds very clear. If you like bass, it has some bass. It's not gonna like rattle you crazy, but the car actually has a very good sound system. I don't believe this is the Mark Levinson system. This is just a regular Lexus system. So, but as even it being stock, it sounds great. So what we'll do is I'm gonna get on the road and I'm going to share some thoughts with you about the car while I'm driving it. All right, so now we're driving the ES, and I have a friend with me. So hello, friend. And as I said before, I actually like this car. It has really good ride height, very good clarity, brakes feel good, acceleration is strong, gas mileage, I've already spoken on that. So those are pretty much the basics, but what is like the everyday driving of this vehicle? Well, first, let's take into account who might be buying this vehicle. So because I have a lady with me and she has a child, she was pointing out some very interesting things. So I asked her, would you have your son, a small child in this car? She said, what did you say?
I said probably not because of his car seat and stuff. And plus I'd be afraid that he would get it dirty. This would probably be like my own personal car. So it probably wouldn't be a car that I'd bring my kid in because I wouldn't want him to eat in here or anything like that.
And that's a very good point. Sometimes when I make reviews, I'm speaking of it from a man's point of view with older kids. I'm not thinking about women and young children. So this vehicle has a two-tone interior. The black and leather, sometimes it does feel kind of plasticky, but the headliner, I'm not a big fan of this tan headline, because there's already some dirty marks, and this car doesn't even have 6,000 miles on it. It's a 2020, which means it was on the road in 2019, and it already has some scuffing marks. So that's a perfect example of if you're a dad or mom and you have some small children, how hard is it going to be to clean this vehicle? Ooh, Lexus of Tulsa's calling. Probably want their vehicle back. Hold on. Lexus called like, hey, nigga, where's our car at? I'm reviewing it for y'all. Anyway, so the conception of small children, will they tear up? Is this car really durable as far as like little kids touching it? That's a great example, because if you're a single adult male or woman driving this vehicle, then you're fine with it. You're barely going to use the back seats unless you're giving somebody a ride. But everything else, when children are involved, creates a whole new problem. I've detailed multiple Lexus vehicles, and they are great with letting up dirt out of the carpet, but you can break some of the plastic things if you're not paying attention to. There's not a lot of cup holders in here. You get two in the front. The doors are not big enough to hold anything more than a can, if that. Yeah. You get two in the rear. Yeah, you just get two in the rear, so you don't have a lot of cup holders. So this isn't necessarily, would you say this is mommy friendly?
No, I wouldn't say it's mommy friendly.
Okay, so not a mommy friendly vehicle. There's no area to put your the light is touch sensitive. That's interesting.
That's cool.
Yeah, but there's no area to put your sunglasses up here, so that kind of sucks. Yeah. And that's basically it. So as far as the functionality of the car, it really depends on what you're bringing to it. If it's just you, it's fine. If it's older children, fine. But if it's young kids, not necessarily. You can fit car seats back there, and that's fine. But it's more of, is this practical for you? And I think that's the biggest question when it comes to deciding if you want to get the ES. You're already getting a great brand, but if it's practical for you. For me, it would be great. If I had the extra change laying around, I pick up one of these, put it on air, put some rims on it, and call it a day. Because the car looks great. Nice aero kit, great. But then again, I can't speak for everybody. So those are more of my 2 cents and her 2 cents. And I'm glad that she was here to kind of point out some things, because I can always learn something new. So anyways, that's my review on it. It's pretty short and sweet, nothing too crazy, nothing too mind-boggling about the car. Like I said, it has Android Auto and Apple iPlay. That's cool, about time Lexus got there. But nothing too spectacular about the car. If I was to rate this car on a scale from 1 to 10, this would be a solid 8.5. A couple things I don't like, but overall, this is a B+ car. It's not perfect, but it's damn sure not something that you want to scoff at. If you was to rate the car on a scale from 1 to 10, from you looking at it and riding around and hearing the sound system and maybe not driving it, but just being in this car, what would you rate it? Just quick rating.
I would say a good solid 8. It's nice, it's smooth, the sound system's great. I like the dual control. And it's a pretty sexy car. Like, if it was just me and my friends and we're going on a road trip or something, I will definitely take this car. It's a pretty sexy car.
So we both give it 8s, but as far as a mommy rating with a small child, what would you rate it on that?
Probably like a 6.5. Yeah. So I probably wouldn't feel comfortable having my kid riding here every day.
So if you had $45,000 to spend, this wouldn't be a car you would look at.
No.
And that's the thing, SUVs are taking over. Everybody's getting an SUV. So this car is definitely a niche brand. If you want an SUV, get you an RC350. Those are dope. But I already did a review on that. All right, y'all. It's Sir Cash. I'm returning their car to Lexus of Tulsa before they call the laws on me. So, all right, y'all.
It's gonna be the day that I don't come back to you.